Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor and this is Plant Dose Woman. Okay you guys, so future Taylor here. Some of my footage got damaged. I wasn't able to use it, so unfortunately, I'm annoyed. But I didn't want to not post this because I feel like some of it is so interesting and it was a fun process, so I wanted to go ahead and post what I did have for you guys. What you will not see is me actually cutting up the plants and showing you how to propagate. So if you guys want to see that in a future video, let me know. I'm happy to refilm it. What you do see is 5 different plants propagated in 5 different substrates. So we've got water, soil, moss, perlite, and leca. Oh God, I just nailed my hand. Ow. I am not refilming. Okay, great. Those are the 5 ways that we are propagating, and I'm excited for you guys to see it. It's about a month process of 5 plants propagating in 5 different things. Let's go. Okay guys, so I filmed the entire process of doing all of this, and my phone decided to delete what was filmed. My phone died and then it didn't keep what it had been working on. I don't know. The files are not there and I'm not happy about it. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of talk you through what I did here. I wish I could show it to you, obviously, but it is now done, so it is what it is. But everything was really simple, and honestly, you didn't really need to see it. It was just part of the video. So the first thing that we did was water propagate. So as you can see, I just put the cuttings in water. That's it. Those are very simple. Next was moss. This is sphagnum moss. I got the moss wet in a bowl and had it soaking. I squeezed the moss out where it was damp but not completely soaked. I filled it in these containers. You can see it's not incredibly packed in there, like it's just loosely in there. And I put the cuttings down in the moss where the nodes are covered with moss. So that's that. Oh my gosh, I'm winded. Okay, the leca was fun. I enjoyed the leca. Okay, let me grab it. So with the leca, I filled these up halfway with leca. I put the cutting in and then I filled leca around the cutting, just because it's not easy to poke around through the leca and try and fit the cutting down deep enough. So that's how I did that. It worked out really well. And then I filled them up with water, as you can see, about fourth or half of the way up. And that way they can wick the water up through the leca. But yeah, what I was saying in the video is I love how the leca really holds the cutting in place. Same with the perlite. Both of those really hold the cuttings. Oh my gosh, look at that fungus gnat. Go away. If these bring in fungus gnats, I'm done. I'm done. Okay, so that was those 3. Next is the perlite here. I almost said leca again. So the perlite, what I did, which is a tip that I can show you guys at another date, is I filled it all the way up with perlite, and then I actually used a screwdriver, but you can use a pin or whatever you have, and just poke down into the perlite and make a hole, if that makes sense, and then push down your cutting. So unlike the leca, you really can push a cutting through the perlite. I just go ahead and make a little hole for it to go in. That way it's not damaging the cutting in any way. And I actually filled the water all the way up on this one, but you can see it soaks up most of the water. So if I pour, there's definitely water in there, but it's not like soaking. Does that make sense? It's definitely wet though. So that's the perlite. And lastly, we have the soil, which was my least favorite of the bunch just because it's annoying. It's soil. You know, it was kind of messy to put in these little jars. So I went ahead, put the soil in about 3/4 of the way, put the cutting in, and then poured more soil on top. That looks so gross, wow. And then I just poured, this one I had to really guess, you know. You can see there's water in there, see? Just not a ton. I wanted it to be wet, not crazy soggy. Obviously these do not have a drainage hole, but I'm not really worried about it since we are just propagating. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it moist. That's the plan. Sorry if you hate that word. Sorry, I'm not sorry. But here is all 25 propagations. I have given it prime real estate in front of my window, as you can see. I normally have this many plants right here, so I've got to figure out, you know, where those plants are going, because right now they're just all over the floor. But anywho, they're getting great light. This is a south window, so enjoy the light, honeys. And I'll check in a bit. Okay, you guys, time for a little update. It is May 8th right now when I'm filming this, and we started this project, I believe, on April 10th or 11th, so we're close to a month in, and I wanted to just show you guys each individual plant one by one and kind of check on what the roots are doing. Okay, now I will say, I'm surprised with how slow the water ones are going, because obviously that's the one that I can check very easily just by pulling it out. Normally, I feel like that's how it is. You're filming a video and everything's like, no, I'm not gonna grow roots. But when I break something off and throw it in water, it has like 6-inch long roots in like 2 weeks. So, you know, that's how it goes. But we'll get into each one. I will show it to you guys. I hope you guys enjoy this. I know that this is not a true scientific experiment. There's way too many variables. I'd have to do far more plants, and you know, not every node is an active node. So, you know, take all of this with a grain of salt. I really just thought this would be a fun thing to do. And yeah, all right, let's get into the update, shall we? Okay, so everything is sitting over here. If you see me looking this direction, I thought we would start with the water ones just because they're the easiest to pull. The first one that we have here is the Scindapsus argyrius, and there are no roots. Nothing yet, but it's not rotted. It still looks nice and healthy. The leaf is plump and firm. It's not folded. Scindapsus will curl in when they're not doing very well, which, hint, hint, one of them is kind of curling. It's the soil one that I'm looking at, but we'll check it out and see what's going on. So it's not a dud yet, but there's nothing going on with it. So I'm gonna keep leaving it and we will keep checking it out. Next, we've got Cebu Blue. You're gonna hear a lot of clinking in this video, I'm sorry. Glass containers. Let's see, I'm really shocked that this one does not have roots yet. Cebu Blue is one of the easiest plants to propagate in my opinion. But like I said, not every node is as active as other nodes. Again, no roots yet, but it's still very, very healthy. The leaf is nice and firm. I'm shocked by this, a month. I have put Cebu Blue in water and there's been roots within a week, so it goes. Now I did put all of these in front of the same window, and there's not the strongest light in this window. It is a east window. I had to think about that. But it's still right in an east window that is blocked by a house, but you know, it gets pretty good light. So yeah, I'm just surprised, but so it goes. Okay, next. I probably should have gotten a better setup for this because I'm gonna be like reaching and grabbing and clanking, but okay, the one plant that does have roots in water is this Adansonii narrow-form. This leaf is so beautiful, and we have got lots of roots growing here. Hopefully y'all can see. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 roots growing. Let me set that down so I can kind of show you guys up close. So yeah, this one is rooting up nice. I wouldn't pot this in soil yet. I like there to be either secondary roots or just a little bit longer of a root, but you definitely could. It would survive. These are really resilient with propagating, so yeah, our first success. I was feeling a little weary, like, is anything gonna have roots? And honestly, since we did water first, now I'm really worried about all the other ones. I have a feeling right off the bat that the soil ones are not doing well, and I never propagate that way, so honestly, I just did it, I guess, for myself, so I can prove to myself that it's a bad idea. I don't know. Okay, next is a Brazil. Again, typically very easy to propagate, but no roots yet. There are some dried looking roots on there, but those were there before, just like aerial roots, so those are not new. But again, the plant is nice and healthy and thick. It's not like flopping in half or dying, so we're gonna keep leaving it. I'm really surprised by this one. Okay, and then one more water. I'm working on a very small surface here, so bear with me. Last one is the Micans. Now this one out of all of them is looking the most unwell, I guess. So no roots going on this one. But when I looked about a week ago, there was a little bit of mold growing up here, and so I cleaned that off and I tried to clean the plant off the best I could, and I haven't seen any more mold growing. But yeah, just no roots on it, and the leaf looks real sad. I will say I haven't had the best experience with Micans in water. I've definitely made it happen many times, but I think that Micans, in my experience, really prefer perlite or moss. But again, I have had success in water. I think it just depends on, you know, the node and the situations, but that's how that's looking now. It's kind of curled, if you can see, and a little yellow looking, a little bit yellow looking. Okay, by the way, while you're watching this, my face itches. Sorry. While you're watching this, let me know down below what type of propagation you like. I love chatting with you guys about it. Okay, now on to the other substrates. These will be a little bit more annoying for me to pull out, especially the moss, so let's just get that out of the way. First up is this Micans. The leaf looks really nice, and the moss is still damp. It's a little dry, but it's definitely not dried all the way out, so I'm gonna pull this out. The only thing I hate about propagating in moss is like how things get stuck to the moss, if that makes sense. Like the roots get so stuck to the moss, it's really hard to separate what is a root and what is moss. So I feel like I'm always breaking it. Okay, we've got a root. Perfect. Actually, we have two roots, one full root and then one little baby coming in. Okay, so if you can see, we've got this root here, ignore my nails, and then there's also a little baby root coming in right there. Really should have painted my nails before this video, but you guys know who I am. I film first, think later, you know? It's fine. Okay, so that's good though. I'm glad that that does have a little bit of a root, and I kind of expected it to. Like I said, I've had better luck with Micans in moss than water. Okay, next we have the Scindapsus. It does look pretty straight and healthy, so let's pull this out. Again, with Scindapsus, haven't had the best luck in water, but I have had luck in moss, so I'm hoping that there are some roots in here. Sorry I don't have this like on a table up here where you can see what I'm doing, but I wanted it just to be a quick check-in, and you know, so it goes. Also, I had a photo shoot this morning, and I have another one in about an hour, so this was a quick little pop-in between jobs. Okay, we definitely have got some rootage going on, yay. Also, these roots are nice and white. The last time I propagated Scindapsus and moss, they came in like really black and they were disgusting. But yeah, long roots on this. This looks really good. Sweet. Ooh, moss is 2 for 2. Just saying. I hate the feeling of moss, and I know some people don't like it, but it is definitely working. That we cannot deny. Okay. Next, let's do the Adansonii in moss. Leaf looks good, however, the new growth that was coming in has definitely browned off. However, I don't think that's necessarily a moss situation. When you're propagating, you should try and not propagate something that's pushing out a new leaf. It's just gonna put it into shock while it's already trying to open a new leaf, and so typically this does happen. I knew that in advance, but that was kind of the spot. I wanted all the cuttings to be pretty similar, and they all have a new leaf coming in on the Adansonii except the water one, so it's fine. If that leaf dies off, it'll push out another. I feel some, like when you pull out of moss, sometimes you can feel like a tug, which makes me think that there is a root, which is good. Oh, there's a long root, okay. All right. I cannot believe the water ones did not propagate like this. Okay, so here's a weird situation. Here's the roots. This one is completely like rotted, so that's great. But the other two, okay, that was not a root. I thought it was. It was moss. See, it's hard to tell. So we got one nice root, which is good. Okay. All right, 3 for 3 on moss. 2 more. I hope this isn't boring, you guys. I find this stuff fascinating. But if it's boring, let me know down below and we won't do this again. Okay, this moss is definitely a little bit drier. This is the Cebu Blue. No, it's fine. Just the top was dry. No roots on the Cebu. Bummer. And I did water all of these at the same time, and I've been keeping up with them at the same time, so this leaf looks sad. My Cebu is not propagating very well in this. What the heck? And I literally have claimed many times that it's the easiest plant to propagate. And you know what? That just goes to show you that, like, just try again. Sometimes certain nodes don't want to propagate, and like that's okay. Just try again, because every node is different. Okay, last moss is this Philodendron Brazil, and the leaf seems really floppy, so that worries me. But I do feel a little bit of a tug. Nope, I didn't. No roots. I don't know if this one's gonna make it. The leaf is very beautiful, but it seems pretty floppy, and we have no roots going on. So there is a little bit of rotting going on right here. So I am gonna pick that off for now, and then I'm gonna cut it off after this video and see if that will help. Also, I do have some, I can't think of the word, but like the root powder to help plants root. I've never tried it before, but I do have some. So maybe on these ones that are being really stubborn, we'll try that. Let me know down below if you would like me to throw that on there, and I can add that to a third part of this video. Okay, on to Leca, shall we? Actually, let's do soil because I really want to get it out of the way because this is a dead leaf. This Micans is dead. And yeah, I can just tell that these soil ones are gonna go really bad. I'm sorry, I keep itching my face. I feel like I have a dog hair on my face. I should cut that out, but I won't because that's real life. Also, can we just talk about how pretty Micans is when they are dying? I don't even want to throw it away because it's so cute, but it is, oh, it's completely dead. Like the node is gone, if you can see. So sad. Maybe I'll like press this or something. They're so pretty. Yeah, that's how that went, which doesn't shock me. Next is the Scindapsus. Did you guys just see that fungus gnat? This is why I don't like to propagate in soil. It's keeping the soil too wet and it's causing gnats. Let me try and do this without making a mess. Okay, this Scindapsus is definitely curling a little bit, which makes me think there's not roots, but let's clean it off and see. Yeah, no roots yet on the soil Scindapsus. Again, not shocked. 2 for 2 on that. Okay, Brazil. This is actually a Brazil. I know it looks like just a regular heartleaf, but if you see the yellow up here, it just was a weird variegated Brazil. And on the back, it's actually variegated in the middle. You just can't really see it on the front. I think this is a really cool leaf. And it's really round also. Okay, let's see. Yep, no roots. Soil's 3 for 3. If you love to propagate in soil, please don't be mad if I am acting like I'm against it right now. I am no expert. And just because I don't like it doesn't mean that you shouldn't also bite my tongue, because the one plant that is the easiest plant to propagate, in my opinion, has a tiny little root and a little new growth. I don't know if you can see. So there's the root here, and then there's a new growth coming right there in soil, lo and behold. So I'm gonna push this back down in here because, well, I guess it likes it. I'm really shocked that out of all the Cebu so far, the one that has rooted is in soil. Wow. Honestly, I'm glad though, because I would have been a little upset if all 5 of the soil ones were fails, you know, just because I don't want to kill the leaves. Okay, last one is the Adansonii, and we've got a root. Okay, we've got a root, but we also have rot. So that makes sense to me because it's just sitting in wet soil, but yeah. Again, wanted to show it to you. Now the new growth on this one is doing fine. We've got a root, a nice good sized root. However, the bottom of the stem is rotting off, which is fine. That's not where the node is. So I'm gonna cut it like right here after the video and stick it back in the soil. But yeah, we do have a root. So 2 out of the 5 soil ones did root. Okay, that took far too long to get those back in the soil. Okay, next, let's do Perlite. I'm gonna leave Leca for last because I feel like I'm gonna have to dump out all of those clay balls and it's gonna be annoying. Okay, first up is the Cebu. There's still water down in here, which is good, and the leaf looks really nice and like perky, so I have high hopes. But let's see. Oh, wow, okay. So there is a root, and it is quite literally the tiniest root, like the thinnest root I've ever seen. Hopefully, can you guys see right here? Let me put it like against my black shirt. Do you see that tiny little root? It's so small. It's teeny tiny, but there is a really small root, so it's something. It is something. This Perlite is still pretty wet, and I watered this, I want to say maybe a week or 2 ago. It's been a while, so that's nice. That's what I like about Perlite. It's pretty, I don't know, low maintenance. Okay, next is the Adansonii in Perlite. Also, I like how the Perlite holds the plants in. Same with Leca, like they really hold it in. This one is not wanting to come out. I'm kind of digging around in there trying to be gentle, which again makes me think that there's roots in here. Trying to see if I can like see any from around. I do see like a dot at the bottom, so I think I just really shoved this one down in there. Let me dig carefully. Okay. Yes, we do have roots, so that's why I didn't want to come. Okay. Also, perlite is annoying though to like take out and back in, which you wouldn't normally do that, so don't let that scare you off. Yeah, so here's the root situation. Obviously there's a ton of perlite on them, but there's definitely lots of roots going on. This is like the most successful root situation other than the water and Tonii. So yeah, those have both propagated really well in perlite and water. Okay, next up is the micans and perlite. This leaf is so beautiful. It's literally perfect. And it looks really healthy, so that makes me hopeful. You can tell when your, cuttings are going to die, they start looking like they're going to die, so. We do have a tiny little root, very small root. I'm not gonna be able to show it to you because there's like perlite on here, but if you can see that little baby root right there. Did y'all just see that fungus gnat fly by? I don't even have very many in here, but I swear they're coming for me. These propagations have led to fungus gnats. It's the soil ones. The soil ones, I mean, obviously I have a couple in here, so that's not like what caused it, but they definitely have loved it. Okay, last two in the perlite. First up, we've got a scindapsus. The leaf looks super healthy and straight. I'm gonna pull this baby out. Oh yes, okay. I've never propagated scindapsus and perlite, and this did well. Wow, I'm proud. Because scindapsus can be tricky sometimes. Not impossible, but look at those roots. Those might be the longest roots so far. I keep saying that, but these look really good. So that is exciting. I'm so glad. Perlite has definitely become one of my favorite ways to propagate as of recently. I think I'll always be a water gal just because like at the end of the day, it's easier. But as far as like putting it in something, this has solidified my love for perlite. And I'm really excited to see the Leca ones. I've never used Leca before, but I am excited to see because I loved how it held the plant. This is a beautiful Brazil. This might be the prettiest leaf. Look at that leaf. This is what I was talking about in my previous videos. See how like my Brazil has like almost a gray, like a middle tone? I don't know. I feel like it's like almost something else, but I know it's not, but it's so pretty. Love it. I'm gonna kill this fungus gnat real quick on my ring light. See you never. Okay. Let's see how this Brazil is doing. No dice. Oh, wait. Yes, there is. Very tiny. Let's see the best angle. It's kind of hard to give you an angle. There's a tiny root right there. You could probably not see, but it's very tiny and it is starting to root. And what I have noticed with perlite is once it starts to root, it's really gonna take off and give you nice, fuzzy, white, healthy roots. So I think in no time this baby will be rooting, and I'm glad because this leaf is beautiful. I would not want that leaf to die. Okay, you guys, let's do Leca, but I'm gonna need something, I didn't think this through, to put my Leca in. One moment. Okay, I've got a pot with no drainage holes, a Costa Farms pot, so I can at least kind of dump these out. Also, this is gonna be really noisy, so I apologize in advance. First up is the Cebu Blue Pothos. It does look a little limp, but let's see. Okay, well this one pulled right out and there are no roots, so bummer. Bummer about that. I'm gonna put these back in after because I've gotta like dump them out to put them back in. Next is a Brazil. This leaf is very beautiful as well. I love how pointy the bottom, the bottom of this is. So these are pulling out of Leca really easy. Like I'm just pulling them right out. Granted, the two have no roots, so maybe that's why they're pulling out. Oh, that's kind of discouraging. Bummer. 2 for 2 on Leca. Okay, next. Next is Micans, and the leaf looks pretty good. I'm gonna see if it lets me just pull it right out, and it did. This one does have a tiny little root. Can y'all see that little white root? Hopefully you can. See that? So it does have a little baby root, but very small. But I'll take it. 1 out of 3, baby. All right, this one I noticed right off the bat, which has dog hair on it. This Scindapsus all of a sudden has this, if you can see, like yellowy brown dot on it, which was not there before, so that's not great news. Oh, but there is a root. So I'm not doing this very well, am I? There you go. See that root? So that's nice. As far as the leaf, I mean, it looks like a little bacteria situation. I don't know. I'll probably keep this one a little bit to the side of the other ones just because I don't want it to spread, just in case. Okay, guys, is that everything other than this? Is this the last one? We did soil, we did perlite, we did moss, we did water. This is the last one. If you have watched all of these, God bless you. You are wonderful. This new growth is still doing good. It's not browned off yet, and this leaf looks beautiful. So I have high hopes. I'm trying to see if I can see. Oh, look, you can. Y'all probably can't, but do y'all see that root? It is rooted. Let's pull this baby out and see how it is doing. Okay, this root does not look very good though. So if you can see, the top part of the root is nice and furry and white, but this part, it looks like it's rotting. Oh. I'm gonna put it back in there. It's not completely rotted through, but it's definitely like kind of gross and slimy. So we'll have to see an update on this and see what it's doing, but there is a root, so that is something. Okay, you guys, obviously I cannot give you an exact answer for which one of these methods are the best. It's really up to your personal preference. It's up to each node. As you can tell, some worked, some didn't. And like I said, I'd have to do 15 Cebu Blues all in water and 15 in perlite. You know, I'd have to do a larger amount to really get an idea on which ones work better for what plants. If you guys want to see that, I can do that. That would be crazy, but it would be fun. But yeah, I think based on what I saw, what I would recommend, or just for me personally after doing this, perlite worked great. Honestly, moss works really great, although it can be kind of annoying. It has worked really well for me for propagating. And water. I know in this experiment, water looked like a failure, but water works. Water works. And although these may not have roots yet, none of them were rotting, none of them were like limp, like they just maybe need a little bit more time. And again, it could just be those nodes. Water has worked for me through and through. At the end of the day, I'm a water girl. However, when it comes to a different substrate, I think I'm a perlite girl. I think out of all of them, the perlite really just worked the best. I think the roots were the healthiest and the fluffiest and the whitest. I thought that I would like Leca the most when I started this experiment. I really just I enjoyed how tightly it held the plants, and it was really easy and mess free because perlite is really annoying. It gets all over your hands. I hate the way the moss feels. So out of all the substrates, I liked the way that Leca was. I can see why people like it, just as far as ease of use. When using it, I'm definitely gonna keep using Leca just to see what it does and just to give it a fair shake. This was obviously just a one-time experiment. I wanna keep using these and just to see what's gonna work best moving forward. Wow, I can't talk. Sorry guys, you know what I meant. Let me know down below which substrate you like to propagate in. I would love to know. And if you guys like this video or you want to see something similar or some other idea or experiment, let me know and I will film it for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I would love it if you would subscribe if you have not already. I appreciate you guys. Love ya. Bye.